Okay, so in this video, I'm going to make a pretty rough third strike tier list and talk about the different characters, what makes them strong, what makes them suck, and kind of rank them and give you an idea about what the whole roster looks like. It's going to be pretty opinionated, pretty biased. Obviously, I'm coming from the perspective of a Urian player and a fairly low intermediate level player in the grand scheme of things. So don't take everything I say here as law or the word of God or anything. There are much better players than me who have made tier lists that probably are more accurate, and I definitely don't have a full understanding of the whole roster. So anyway, without further ado, before I get too far into this, I'm going to really quickly talk about meter, right? So yeah, third strike third strike screenshot. So in third strike, every character has 3 super arts they can pick from, right? And a super art is their ultimate special attack, right? And different super arts let you store different amounts of meter, and that is going to be a big topic in this video, basically, because that really affects balance. Like right here, Ken's super art 3 has a relatively short bar, and you can store up to 3 stocks of it, as you can see there. Whereas Ryu's super art 1 has a longer bar, and you can store 2. So it takes Ryu more time to build meter for this. And he can't have as many stocked and ready to go at a time as Ken can for this particular super art. So that's a big balancing factor. And then EX moves use a fraction of a bar. I don't know if it varies from super to super, but it's not a full bar worth, and that also has an impact. Anyway, without further ado, the best character in the game is Chun-Li. Chun-Li fucking dominates. She has incredibly strong buttons, just normal attacks that really let her just be this defensive fortress, wear people down. She has the best, not the best, but one of the best Kara throws in the game. And a Kara throw is basically a technique where you press a button and then input a throw on the very next frame. And if that button moves you forward a little bit, then you'll move forward and then do the throw. So it basically just boosts the range on your throw by a pretty ridiculous amount. And that just lets her shut down a lot of ambiguous situations where other characters would struggle. She can just hit that and throw you from halfway across the fucking screen. Not that far, but it feels like that. It's pretty fucking rough. And if that's not enough, she has one of the best super arts in the game in her super art 2, which she can hold 2 stocks of. It does a shit ton of damage. You can finish it off with what's called a super jump cancel, which basically lets you follow up with a bunch of different moves and immediately go for another mix up that can lead to another fucking super art. Takes them straight to the corner. She dominates space. She's fucking incredible. She's really fucking strong. She's pretty hard to play well at a high level, but she's just so fucking strong. She's the best character in the fucking game, and she has the results to prove it. If you look at any fucking Japanese tournament, Chun-Li is the character you're going to see the most of at the highest level. Fucking monster. She does suffer from a slightly underwhelming anti-air game, and she doesn't have really good punishes until she gets enough meter to use her super art. So that's kind of the few weaknesses she has. But compared to anyone else, I mean, she's just a fucking monster. She's the best character in the game, no question. Then we have Yun. So Yun is really awkward mobility for the most part. Yeah, he's awkward mobility and low life, but everything else about him is fucking ridiculous. I mean, he has really strong buttons. He has this dive kick that's just fucked up and can set up really crazy fucking mix-ups anywhere. And then there's his super art that you're going to use, which is super art 3. For most characters, there's only one viable super art. Some characters have a choice, but with Yun, Chun, most of the cast really, there is an objective best option. And for Yun, it's a super art 3, Ganajin, which is just one bar, one really short bar, but when he activates it, it's just changes him. He enters Ganajin mode, and for 5 seconds, he's a fucking monster. He can any button that he presses has the same level of priority as a super art. So they use a special move or an EX move or a normal attack, and it collides with one of Yun pressing his fucking light kick. Yun wins because when he's in Ganajin, everything is super art priority, and there's no cap on his juggle limit when he's in Ganajin mode either. So he can just fucking juggle you for days, and even after the Ganajin mode ends, he gets 3 more hits of unscaled damage, which builds meter towards his next fucking Ganajin. It's fucked up. This character's fucking dumb, man. If Chun wasn't in this game to put Yun in his fucking place, then no one would play third strike. That's not really true. I mean, people still play third strike, but fuck Yun. Fuck all Yun mains are rats. All Yun players are fucking rats. Fuck Yun. It's just what a monster of a character. And then there's Ken. Ken is like the everyman's top tier. Ken has good buttons. He has a strong super. It doesn't do as much damage as Chun's. That was the super we looked at earlier. It has 3 stocks, right? It's still really good. And there's a lot of ways to confirm into it safely like you can with Chun. I didn't even talk about that with Chun. A confirm is when you press like a normal move, and if you see it hit, you do a cancel it into a super. So basically, you can like get really safe supers if you're good at that. I'm not good at that. I'm a Urian player. I don't ever do confirms. Um, yeah, so Ken's like the everyman's top tier. He has like a really good super that it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it confirms into really strong mix-ups afterwards. He has really good buttons. He has strong mobility. He has his EX Tatsu, which is probably like the single best air-to-air option in the game. He's fucking solid. He's built like a brick house, man. Like he's just a good character all around. He's not quite as strong as like Chun or Yun. There's definitely a bit of a gap there, but Ken's really fucking sick and he's really strong and he's like he's not as much of like an explicit, obnoxious asshole as these two. I mean, I'm biased because Ken is Urian's hardest matchup. I have an easier time against Yun and Chun, but yeah, I mean, he's a cool fucking character. He's solid. Like, there's no reason not to play Ken, other than the fact that fucking everyone has pocket Ken. Everyone plays Ken. Then there's Makoto. And Makoto is the first character here who actually is a valid choice with her super arts. So there's Super Art 1, which is just a long bar, one stock super art that just is like a nuke. It just does like a fuck ton of damage, like 40, 50%. She has a lot of ways to cancel into it. It's very solid, very reliable. And then she has her Super Art 2, which is only useful from certain positions on the screen. Basically, like, if Makoto has like her back to like, I'm trying to figure out a way to word this verbally. Once again, I'm making content after I've been drinking. This is stupid. Yeah, so like if she's on like her side of this, like one specific side of the screen with her back to like the end of the screen, and she lands a command throw, she can combo that into Super Art 2 for a 100% combo on most characters in the game. If she grabs you, you're fucking dead. That's that. But it's more situational. Super Art 1 is more reliable, it's stronger overall, and Makoto has a lot of like other things she can do. I mean, she has this weird gimmick where she has the slowest walk speed in the game, but the longest and fastest dash. So she'll just kind of be chilling on the other side of the screen, all of a sudden she's in your face, and you have to fucking do something about it. You really have to like play around her really odd mobility in that sense. She's not very good at making like micro adjustments, but she's really good just flinging herself at you and forcing you to fucking guess. Really scary character. These are unquestionably like the 4 best characters in the game. Then these are like all of these characters are really, really strong. There's a bit of a gap between Yun and Ken here, and there's probably another gap between Ken and Makoto, but there's really no reason to argue that anyone other than these 4 are the top 4. So these are like obviously the best characters, and then A tier is like strong characters. Like no one's gonna laugh at you if you play like the characters I'm gonna put in A tier. They're all really good, like solid, reliable characters, but there is a gap between them. And the best character in this list is this section is gonna be Dudley. Dudley is similar to Makoto. Well, it's not really similar to Makoto at all, but he's also like a very mix-up oriented character. He has really like weak, stubby buttons for the most part, but he's more focused on like getting like counter hits and like just getting that one knockdown that just loops into like probably some of the most vicious high-low pressure in the game, because he has like his Canapan attack, which is like this low that launches you in the air for big combos and confirms to super after that. And then he also has his Dart Shot, which is an unseeable, unreactable overhead attack, right? And that also can be confirmed into super. So essentially, if you get knocked down by Dudley, you just have to fucking guess. Like there's no way to react to those mix-ups, and they can loop, and you can get fucked up, and you can die. He also has a lot of HP, and he has a really low jump arc, so it's really easy for him to like just get in your face and force you to make some decisions. Assuming that like he can get in your face, like get through your buttons first, right? Like he has stubby, kind of crappy normals. Still, really sick character, really cool, very technical, flashy, a fan favorite for sure. And there is an argument to be made that Dudley is like closer to these characters than the rest. I've heard that take before. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think Dudley has some pretty clear weaknesses compared to the top 4 characters. Again, he just really struggles in neutral, right? Like you need to fuck up and like let him get in on you. But he's also a character who's really built to capitalize on those fuck ups and get in on you. So there's that. Oh wow, I've already spent 10 minutes on 5 characters. This is gonna okay. Well, we're gonna start moving through this. Akuma. Akuma has fucking everything. He doesn't have EX moves. Unlike other characters in the game, he doesn't have EX moves because all his specials are basically EX moves that don't use meter. He's fucking ridiculous. He has like the strongest air zoning in the game with his demon flip, with his air tatsu, with his fucking air fireball. Air fireball. Fuck. Oh my god. Like he's really, really strong combos. He can like combo like 2 supers in a row in the corner. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I actually don't know a ton about Akuma. He's a really technical, strong character. And he can do a lot of shit, and he's really fucking scary, but he has no life. He has no life. He has the lowest HP in the game. He has the lowest stun in the game. And if you touch him, he will fucking die. He is a glass cannon in the purest sense. So he's really manageable in that sense, right? And it's always just going to hold him back. Like, Akuma players can't fuck up, because if they fuck up, they're going to get fucking killed. And he has every tool he needs to dominate the pace of the match before then, but as second you slip through a chink in his armor, it is really bad news for him. So that definitely holds him back compared to like Ken, who's a more hardy, reliable Shoto. Also, like Akuma doesn't like Ken's super is probably better in terms of setting up mix-ups afterwards, and Akuma doesn't have anything like Ken's EX Tatsu. Because again, Akuma doesn't have EX moves. I mean, all his moves are good, but he doesn't have EX moves. Then we have Yang. Yang is a very similar character to Yun. In the first version of Street Fighter 3, they were actually the same character. They're just palette swaps. But he doesn't have Yun's Ganajin. He doesn't have that really busted ass move. Instead, he has some other cool things going for him. He has these Rekka Slash moves, and the way that works is he can do 1, 2, or 3 of them. And each of them individually is very punishable, but the risk of him doing one more prevents you from pressing a button, right? So let's say he does 1, and you say, oh yeah, hey, he did a fucking slash. I'm going to punish that. You run the risk of him immediately canceling it into a second slash and blowing up your punish and knocking you down and then getting like more mix-ups on you. So the fear of that makes it really hard to like contest his pressure. Like he can really lock characters down and just force them to sit there. And then, once you're locked down, he has his command throw, which combos freely into his slashes. And if he uses EX slashes, rather than getting to choose between 1, 2, or 3, because once you hit 3, you're kind of fucked, right? Like you need to like psych them out before then, or like stop before then, and it's kind of this like psychological warfare mental game bullshit. But yeah, and if he uses EX ones, he has up to 6 of them, and that's just a whole nother thing. It's more damage, more whatever. It's fucking obnoxious. All super arts kind of suck though. That's what kind of holds Yang back, especially compared to Yun, who can do like half your life if he combos you in Ganajin. Yeah, Yang just doesn't have like major damage output. He usually picks super art 2, but doesn't really use the super art. He'll just like use the extra, because that's the most total bar for his EX slashes. So he's more focused around controlling the pace of the match and locking you down and whittling you down rather than getting like big burst damage like, Makoto or Yun can do, or Dudley even, really. Yeah. So next I'm put my own main, Urien. Urien is a lumbering tank. He has a lot of HP. He has really slow buttons, but really like long range. And his whole goal is just to focus on keeping people out, getting his meter, and then once he has his meter, using it to do Super Art 3, which is Aegis Reflector, and which is fucked up. Aegis Reflector is one of the cheapest moves in the game. Once you have Aegis, you can take away 90% of the skill. You can force Third Strike and turn it into fucking coin flip simulator, and if you flip the wrong fucking coin, guess what? I'm taking 40% of your life. Fuck yeah, dude. I love Urien. I could talk about Urien all day. I've played Urien for 600 to 700 hours of my life, and I will probably play him for many hundreds, if not thousands of hours more. I fucking love this character, and he's fucking great, dude. I can't keep talking about Urien because I'll talk about Urien all night. He's strong. He suffers a bit in neutral, but the ultimate thing about Urien is fucking scary, because you fuck up against Urien, he'll just take like 60% of your life, and that's badass. I fucking love this guy. He'll fucking kill you. He has 100% combos on a lot of the cast. He'll fucking kill you. Just don't fuck with Urien. Urien's pretty strong. Next. Who do we want to put next? There's like 2 more characters I'll probably put in this tier. Necro. I don't know a ton about Necro. He's a really weird character. If anyone knows Dalsim, like the famous stretchy guy, this is kind of like Third Strike's take on Dalsim, but crossed with Blanca, if you know that character. I don't know a ton about him. I haven't played a ton of Necros. He's not a very popular character, but he is a strong character. He has very long range. He's the longest range normal attacks in the game, but they're mostly pretty slow and a little situational. And then on top of that, he has really brutal high-low mix-ups in the corner. He has a lot of ways to like just fuck with you and lock you down in the corner, and really, really strong mix-ups on people's wake-up game, and he has really high stun damage combos. So you fuck up against Necro, things can really spiral for you quickly. But he's really held back by his mobility. He's really slow and floaty. A lot of the cast can like juggle him pretty easily, I think. I know Urian has a lot of like really strong combos against him, especially in the corner. I don't know much about characters other than Urian. I'm a total like one trick pony in this game. Oh my god, it's really showing right now. But no, he's a cool character. I really like. I don't want to say I wish more people would play Necro because that's not necessarily true. But I wish everyone would just play like characters that Urian is strong against, or Ryu. Everyone likes playing Ryu. No, but yeah, Necro is like he's weird. I don't know a ton about him, but he's cool. He's a really sick character. He has really cool combos and juggles and shit. He has a really strong high-low game. Yeah, cool. What can I say? Oro. Oro is a stinky, scary old man. He has really stubby buttons, really novel mobility. He's the only character in the game with a double jump. And he has like the guy who taught me everything I know about Urian described Oro as a better Urian. And there is some merit in that. Like a lot of Japanese players have been putting Oro higher on the tier list recently. Like he was usually thought to be somewhere down here, but basically Oro has unblockables a lot like Urian, but they're stronger and more consistent. He has kind of more general tools to play neutral. He has a better fireball. The biggest thing holding Oro back is he's a shitty matchup against Chun-Li. Chun-Li fucking destroys him, but he's a weird character, man. He has like he's just fucking weird. I don't know. I don't even know where to start with Oro. I was working on this project for a while. It was like a video overview of the whole roster, like something high quality. I got to the part where I had to write about Oro and know what the fuck to write about him. He's just this slimy, greasy, tiny old man with really powerful unblockables that loop into each other, like weird juggles, odd mobility. Every time I play against an Oro, I feel like I'm fighting this like tiny old goblin demon. I wish I could say more about him. And to wrap up this tier, we're going to drop Ryu here. Ryu, like Makoto, has two super arts that are viable. The first one is Super Art 1, which is just like this fireball he throws. It's strong. It gives him 2 stocks, which lets him use his EX moves. He has really good EX moves. His EX fireball is one of the best pokes in the game. It can't be punished at all in any like conventional sense. It like knocks people down on hit, which lets him set up his like strong Oki. Ryu has a good fireball. He has a good like Kara throw. He has his donkey kick, which leads to really big damage like combos and juggles. His Tatsu is pretty strong, especially if you're on Fightcade and no one knows what the fuck to do about it. He's just like a solid. Like Ryu is probably like the backbone of the game. You know, he's like the solid, most fair character. He's like Ken if you take out the real bullshit, like a Super Art 3 and his EX Tatsu. Yeah, you know, he's Ryu. But then he has Super Art 3, and Super Art 3 is Denjin Hadoken, and Denjin Hadoken is fucking unblockable. So what Ryu players do is they knock you down, and then they charge their Denjin while you're knocked down, then they throw it at you, and you have to parry it, or you get hit by it. And if you get hit by it, it does a fuck ton of stun damage. Like a fully charged Denjin will stun, I think, anyone in the game from no stun to max stun. I might be wrong about that, but if you have like any stun, you're gonna get fucking stunned by Denjin if you get hit by it. And after that, he does a follow-up combo which builds meter towards his next Denjin, leaves him with control of the screen. It's really fucked up. It's one of the scummiest things in the game. You can be doing great, you get hit by one bullshit sweep or EX Fireball. I guess not EX Fireball because Denjin only has 1 stock, so that takes away the meter for it. But yeah, you get knocked down by a Denjin Ryu and you're just fucked up. He's a scummy, scary character. Super Art 1 Ryu, one of the most fair characters in the game. Denjin Ryu, fuck that guy. Oh my god, fuck that guy. Okay, so the next tier is like, we're gonna move into B tier now. And these are characters who have merit. Like, these are characters who are worth playing, I would say. Like, if you really like them, go for it. But they are a definite step down. Anyone up here, like, especially like these 8 here, like, are the strongest characters in the game. Like, no one would ever, like, they'll take you seriously if you play these characters. But they're the top 4 in particular, it's still a cut above. But like these are like the characters you'll see in tournaments for the most part. And don't get me wrong, like every character in this game has tournament results except for the ones I'm going to put in D tier. And you know, even those, like Third Strike has such a strong universal system with its pairing and everything that like no matter who a strong player is playing, they can probably do well. But this is not a balanced game. Don't get that in your head, right? Like if I was telling you to sit down and learn to play this game, I would recommend picking someone from these 2 tiers here. But B tier, you know, if you really like him, go for it. And without further ado, we're going to talk about Hugo. So, actually, we're going to talk Elena, and then we're gonna talk about Hugo. Elena is often considered to be a worse Chun-Li. She has a lot of really kind of God, it's hard to talk about this character because she's very odd in that she's not very fundamentally sound, but she has a ton of gimmicks. She has a lot of like just really hard to deal with like special moves. She's really good at just like getting in your face and like flustering you with like really fast overheads and special moves that hit twice. I think she has a good Kara throw. I could be wrong about that. I know her throw game is pretty strong. She has some pretty solid buttons too. I don't know a ton about Elena. Again, this is another one of those characters where I just try and play like strong fundamentals against them. Sure, super art she'll usually use. I think it's super art 2, which similar to Chun, she can just like confirm into damage. I don't think she can confirm it awful low though, unlike Chun. And their super art 3 is a healing super, which is really unique and really frustrating to play against, but ultimately pretty gimmicky and bad. Again, if you're going to play Elena, you're probably better off just playing Chun, from what I hear. I don't know a ton about this character. Hugo. Hugo is the grappler of Third Strike, so he has a hugely powerful like command grab in his SPD. He has, again, another character I don't know a ton about. The further we go down this list, the less I think about these characters. I'm mostly worried about dealing with these 4. And sometimes this guy. And sometimes this guy. And this guy because you see him a lot. So it's harder for me to talk about them. But Hugo, yeah, like really giant, massive, lumbering character. Can do a fuck ton of damage. Really scary mix-ups on your wake up once he gets the advantage. But he's just so big. It's really fucking hard for him to like get in and do shit sometimes. He's really slow. Like none of his buttons are like fast and powerful. He just has to like play a very patient neutral with a lot of parrying, play it very safe, and then he gets in your face and he does 1 SPD and you like everything spirals from there. But yeah, Hugo also has 2 super arts. He has his Gigas Breaker, which is his super art 1. Super art 1, and that requires a 720 motion and does a fuck ton of damage, like 60% of anyone's life, really. Then his super art 3, which is like a safer kind of like reversal. I see a lot. Hugo's do wake up super so fucking much. Oh my god. I don't know if it's just me who thinks that, but that's been my experience. And that's kind of like an easier to use super than Gigas, but probably I think it's considered weaker. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. Again, I don't know a ton about Hugo. Ibuki, fuck Ibuki. I don't know. She's fast. She's scary. She just like doesn't do much damage, but she just throws shit at you. Fuck this character. Fuck this little ninja bitch, dude. I hate this character. I don't even want to fucking talk about her. Fuck Ibuki. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to leave in B tier. In my opinion, some people would probably put any of these 3 down in B tier. I definitely don't think Ryu belongs there. I think Denjin is too strong. I think if it was just Super Art 1 Ryu, he might go down in B tier, but Denjin definitely keeps him up here. Oro would have been down here, except for all the shit about his unblockables, the fact that Japan really likes him these days, and also the fact that he has a winning matchup against Yuri. Fuck that. And some people put Necro down here, but I mostly think that's due to unfamiliarity. Like, there's players who have shown that Necro is very, very strong, like Sugiyama, who came to the US and just dominated everybody. Was it Sugiyama? I'm pretty sure it's Sugiyama. If not, I'm so sorry. But yeah, so we're just going to leave these 3 in B tier. They're kind of like this weird middle ground between like the good characters and the bad characters. And now we're getting to the bad characters. And I would not recommend playing any of the characters I'm putting in C tier. They're just all like really weak or incomplete in some way. Alex is a pseudo grappler. He is pretty beefy. He's strong once he knocks you down, but he's just like missing things. Like you can usually just block high against Alex, and he can't do much. His buttons are all pretty stubby. There's not much to say about him. I think he's pretty boring, which might get me some hate, but for the most part, his whole goal is just to get like a lucky knockdown off like some dumb shit, and then just hope he fucks you up on your wake up. I don't really like playing against Alex. Urian fucking destroys him because he can do like headbutt unblockable loops, which are pretty much exclusive to Alex. You can also do them like Elena, I think. But yeah, fuck Alex, dude. Just a dumb character. He's like, if he had some way to confirm off his lows, he might be better. But yeah, Q. Q is weird because every character in Third Strike has a taunt. And unlike in most fighting games where taunts are just there to like make your opponent feel bad about themselves, taunts in Third Strike all have an effect. And most of them don't really matter. Like Ken will do his sometimes for a damage boost. Necro will do his sometimes for a damage boost. Dudley uses his taunt, like throws a rose. You can use that to like lock people down in some setups. But Q's taunt increases his defense up to a max of 3 uses per round. And if he gets all 3 uses, his health is effectively doubled. which makes him the tankiest character in the game by a wide margin. He's really slow and lumbering, but he has opportunities to get pretty big damage with his super arts, and if he gets all 3 taunts off, it's genuinely a challenge to take him down without losing all your life first. Q is the character I played before I switched to Urian, so I have kind of a soft spot for him. And it's really funny because he's probably the best matchup for Urian. Urian destroys Q on paper, but I personally am very bad at it. Yeah, he's a cool character, but he's not good. And I really think Q's a character that rewards mastery of the game systems. If you're really good at parrying, if you really understand the nuances of when you get a taunt off, if you really just have a good feel for third strike, then Q is a great choice. Q, I'm not he's not good, but you can make him work. He can put in work, but he's always fighting this uphill battle where he's just trying to survive for as long as possible and look for opportunities rather than forcing things himself. He has his dash punch, which is a charge move similar to Urian's tackle, except the frame data on it's better, it's safer. But he doesn't get anything off it. Urian can tackle into Aegis. You can just dash punch into wow, I did damage, guys. This is great. Which obviously doesn't mean much. But that's Q. Remy. Remy's also a charge character. If you know Guile and his Sonic Booms, Remy also has that. But Sagat in the older Street Fighter games, and the newer ones for that matter, he has high and low version of his Sonic Booms. I can't remember what they're called. They're called Light of Virtue, LOV, loves, yeah. The third strike has a parry mechanic, and because of that, you can just negate these moves. So good Remys know how to deal with that, and will just fuck you up with constant pressure, dash in when you're parrying, and try and mix you up and stuff like that. But he's always fighting an uphill battle. He has garbage lows. The frame data on all of them is terrible, so you never really have to be scared of that. He has very low HP. He doesn't do very much damage, but he can be very obnoxious to fight against. If you play against a Remy who has strong partitioned machine gun LOVs, which is I don't know exactly how that works, but you can use charge partitioning to do LOVs faster than normal, throw out more projectiles. He can be really annoying. He's just hard to get in on. You're constantly dealing with this barrage of annoying projectiles that are slowly whittling you down. Whenever you get complacent, he can dash in and do a little more damage with he has this dive kick that's cold blue kick, which can be safe if it's spaced well. And yeah, just a really obnoxious character to play against. He's not good. He just doesn't have the damage or the frame data to really be threatening in a conventional sense, but strong Remys really know how to lock you down and really know how to make the game just a fucking hell to play. So there's that. Then we have Sean, and Sean is just Ken, but he's worse in every way. That's it. He has different special moves, and they all fucking suck. He has worse frame data. He has a pretty strong Dragon Punch. He's kind of okay defensively in some situations. But he's garbage. He's fucking ass. He was really strong in Second Impact, which is the second Street Fighter 3 game before Third Strike. But he's ass. He's cheeks. Don't fucking play Sean, okay? Don't be one of those meme kids oh, I get to roll. It's so much fun. Wow, I can do this flippy kick. Oh, wow, I can throw a basketball and do fuck Sean, okay? He's trash. If you're gonna play Sean, just fucking grow up and play Ken. Fucking grow up. Oh my god. And there's 12. And 12 is the worst character in the game. He's a really unique character. He has an air dash, which is fucking crazy. He has his Super R3 turns him into whoever his opponent is playing as, clones them. And the cool parts of him end there. He does no damage. His optimal throw is his optimal. I said optimal throw because his optimal punish is a fucking back throw for no damage. He has no good combos. He has no way to confirm into his super art 1, which is his only decent super art, I think. And even that super art is so fucking bad that even if he hits Chun-Li with his super art, he is still negative, and Chun-Li can do her fucking super art in response and hit him. He's garbage. He's so bad. There's this YouTuber, I think it was Leon Massey, who did a whole video called The Bottomest Bottom Tier or some shit like that, which is just about how bad 12 is. This character is garbage. The only thing he has going for him is the fact that he moves in really weird ways that can fluster players who aren't ready for it. But as long as you remember that he has no scary overheads and he can't do damage, there's no reason to be afraid of him. He has to fucking get in on you. Even if it's he can move in weird ways that make it easier for him to get in on you, he has to get in on you 12 times. If you're playing any decent character, any character above C tier, fuck, even if you're playing Q, You can kill 12 in like 3-4 openings, and he has to get like 10 openings because he can't do any fucking damage. He sucks. Anyway, that's my overview. As you can see, I definitely know more about these characters here because I see them more. I study to play against them more. I could talk about Urian all day. Oh, I would love to talk about Urian all day. But that's kind of like a rough overview, a rough, opinionated overview of the Third Strike roster. If you have any interest in playing this game, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to point you in the right direction and try and like find you resources or people to talk to about any specific characters you might be interested in. If you want to learn Urian, I will do everything in my power to teach you everything about him. Which really just means I'm going to send you Dr. Steelhammer's content because that guy has taught me everything I know and is a really, really fantastic teacher. Made some great, great stuff for Urian. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's the roster for Third Strike. So hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. YouTuber shit. Yeah, you get the whole fucking spiel. Have a great day, everyone.